Well, Apple has seen a brutal August so far as growth fears scare off investors. But is a further correction still to come for the tech giant? Yahoo Finance's Dan Howley joins us now with the details. Hey, Dan.
That's right, Rochelle. Investors are looking at Apple and the results from the previous quarter, the continued drop in overall revenue, as well as the poor performance of the iPhone position. That's basically, the breadwinner for Apple. It's always going to be, at least as far as we've seen. Services did have a good quarter, but moving forward, now the question is, Apple has admitted that there's a slowdown in the smartphone market. Everybody knew that already, but now they're officially coming out and saying it. What does that mean then for this quarter, as well as the next quarter when we get the presumed iPhone 15? Is it going to be enough to start getting people interested in buying up smartphones again? And it's something that I think Apple is going to have to answer to once those phones are revealed in September. They're going to have decent features. Right now it's basically the same rigmarole. New cameras, new processor, basically looks the same. So can Apple really push the envelope enough to get people back into stores, back online, and picking up their products? The same thing has to do, is going on with the iPad and the Mac businesses. Those are both really suffering, though. Those are kind of an industry-wide trend where people bought their PCs or laptops, they bought their tablets during the pandemic, and now they just don't need them. And so we're seeing that from manufacturers to chip makers as well. So, for Apple, it's going to come down to, can they get people more interested in buying their smartphones come the announcement in September?
And a similar situation happening for Nvidia, a superstar year to date. But what's been happening in August?
Yeah, it's obviously the massive run-up on Nvidia throughout the year. And now the question is, can they keep that going? They had really bullish projections for the coming announcement that they're going to have from the prior quarter. And so I think people are wondering, are they going to be able to meet that? And then what comes next after that? Nvidia really is kind of a singular company when it comes to the AI space. They produce chips that nobody else can. They've perfected this over years and years. They made the bet several years ago, and now it's really paying off for them. But what does that mean? I think the other question is, what happens when companies, these kind of hyperscaler companies, go out and begin putting their own chips into their own servers? We know that Microsoft's working on it, Google's working on it, Amazon's working on it. Tesla has their own supercomputer that they're building with their own chips. They already use NVIDIA as well, and Elon Musk had said, look, we'll take as many as we can, as fast as NVIDIA can get them to us. But because there's kind of that roadblock, because they're competing with everyone else in the world, we're starting to see companies put out their own chips. So what does that mean then for NVIDIA in the long run as far as these hyperscalers go? And I'm not suggesting that they're going to be massive competition for NVIDIA. It's just potential roadblocks to those different individual businesses that would potentially buy up massive amounts of their server chips.
So something of a sobering effect going on here at the moment as people sort of take stock of some of the players going forward. Great stuff. Thank you for that update, our very own Dan Howley.